Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego City Mobile Police Dog Training Set. This is set number 60369. It has 197 pieces, and I paid $15 for this set. This set is from a little while ago now. It's still on the shelves a lot of places, and it retails for $30. And I've said this before, like the law enforcement side of emergency response stuff in terms of Lego City is not really where my interests lie. I tend to avoid them. Occasionally there'll be one I'm much more interested in, like EMT, ambulances, and fire rescue and stuff like that than I am with stuff like this, for example. This set in particular, I had some kind of negative feelings about, and I can address those, but I try to be vague about that. I just didn't like the idea of this set. There's one thing mainly that I'm not thrilled about, but there are other things in here that I think are pretty interesting. I got this for 50% off. I've said it before, I'll say it again. When a Lego set gets down to half off in price, I'm pretty interested in it. So at $30 I wasn't going to buy this. At $25 I wasn't going to buy this. $22, $20, whatever. But once it got down under $20, then I'm much more interested in it. And because I got this for $15, I decided to pick it up. And so I am going to put this together. So yeah, in this video I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. While I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego City Mobile Police Dog Training Set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. So we start out building the kind of truck van type thing. It doesn't use a starter brick or a chassis. We do some brick built kind of fender type things along with some assistance from those fender pieces. Color blocking is all really nice in here. This is all pretty straightforward. A couple stickers in the set. I did like that the kind of truck bed cover had its own kind of functionality and stuff there. And then onto the second bag of pieces. We start with some accessories and kind of the landscape. This is where some of the training might take place. So we build some different obstacles here as well, which is pretty cool. And then we can work on the trailer, which holds all these obstacles. I was really impressed by how all this came together, and I like this a lot more than I thought. So that's it, and now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is the Lego City Mobile Police Dog Training Set. This is pretty good, and I actually think this is another set where the piece count might be a little bit deceptive, because there does feel like there's more here in terms of like substance here than slightly under 200 pieces I would think would lead to believe. So that does come into play when considering the value of something like this, and I'll get into that more as we go. But the first thing I wanted to do is take a look at the minifigures, because you do get some. So the first one we will look at here is one of the police people, law enforcement people here that is working with this mobile dog training thing. So they do have a shovel here, which is not maybe the accessory one might expect for a law enforcement person, but if it's in conjunction with dog training, maybe that makes more sense. So looking here, we have the dual molded hair and hat piece with the ponytail, so that's dual molded. The face, the minifigure head, no alternate face, but it does have the glasses or the safety goggles printed on the head. Looking at the torso, it's that lighter blue, pretty standard for a city law enforcement person. Has a badge, has a radio or a walkie-talkie, some pockets on the shirt, has a belt around the waist. No printing on the midsection, no printing on the legs, no printing on the arms. Back of this says police, has the radio there again attached, and then more kind of pockets and pouches on the utility belt. So pretty standard character here. And then the next one, see, this is really interesting to me. The other minifigure you get here is this one. So they are currently wearing a helmet that's kind of that darker blue. It is two pieces. It is one of the helmets that doesn't have like the chin strap. This character has facial hair that does go there, but the helmet itself does not have that lower part like some of the spaceman helmets or something. This one does have an alternate face where they're maybe cringing a little bit or wincing a little bit here. So a little bit of a different expression, and one where they're kind of happy there. Also, this character does come with an alternate hairpiece, which is nice to see. The hairpiece is basic, but it's always good when they include that, in my opinion. Now, looking at the minifigure torso, this is different, but it's still, I think, recognizable as law enforcement. We do have like the badge kind of there, not in the same way, but it's there. Then we have these stripes going down here. No printing on the midsection, no printing on the legs, and then no printing on the arms. The most interesting thing about this is I believe these arms were initially for a CMF that was like a cactus costume or something like that. I believe these are like cactus arms. They attach like minifigure arms would. They can, swivel around similarly like that. And then we can look at the back. We do have those stripes continued on the back. So these kind of look like they have stripes. Those are actually grooves in the arm piece or the cactus piece there. And this is one of the more confusing things for me because in terms of this set, why there are I've figured out some things for myself on why I felt fine getting this, but I believe this character is meant to represent what looks like to be a safety suit, kind of a armored thing that police or people might wear when they're training dogs, and the dogs might bite onto these different things. So it's this heavily padded kind of suit there so they don't get hurt, and I believe that's what this is imitating here. Now in my Lego cities and in my mind, I don't really like the idea of the law enforcement sending dogs to chase people down or to bite at them or anything like that. That's just not the kind of imaginary world that I want my Lego minifigures to live in. That's me personally. So I don't love this idea here, and this one's actually kind of ruins the illusion that I set up for myself, because now we're going to move on to the dogs, and I think I can make sense of this if the police dogs are used for, scent, tracking down missing donuts, or other lost pets, or just a way of community building. They're friendly dogs that accompany law enforcement officers to have a more positive interactions with the people that they are tasked with enforcing the law with. And I think I prefer that. And so like as a search and rescue type dog, or a just a companion to help build some sort of empathy with the dog and the worker, the law enforcement person, I think that's actually like a really good thing. And that's the kind of stuff that I am okay with this existing in a Lego city here. So that's just my take on that, and I'll kind of let it lie there. This minifigure does kind of put a wrench in that, but it's not disqualifying, and there may still be some other ways I can think about this that makes it make sense for me personally for what I would want when I would be playing with these or setting up a Lego city. So we have the first dog. This is the main dog. It kind of looks like a German Shepherd or Husky type dog. Pretty standard dog mold. It's all one piece. The printing on the head for the marking as well as the eyes. And then we have this piece, which I'm not familiar with. I don't know if I've ever seen it before. It's essentially like a leash or like a collar thing. It studs onto the back, and then a minifigure hand can be clipped on here. And this is sort of the dog's harness or something like that, and I think that's pretty cool. We also get another dog, now very similar, but this one seems to be a puppy. So similar printing there for marking. It is smaller, so you can kind of see that there, and maybe this is, this is what we are training and helping with. Maybe this bigger one has already been trained, and they're showing each other the ropes, so to speak. So you get those two animals as well. The next thing, these are kind of accessories, kind of not, but these are mostly for the dog here. So we'll look at these. We have a bone that's clipped on over here. This is just on a 2x6 plate with a couple jumpers on top. Then we have a couple bowls with some dog treats, those printed tiles in there. So those will fall out. They're not studded down in there. They'll fall out if I turn this over, but this is kind of a little module that can be for the dogs with the treats, with the food there. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about is actually the truck or the van here. So when putting this together, this is a 6-wide vehicle, a little bit wider because of the tires. We start by building it with this 2x plate here, this long, I don't know if it's a 2x14 or what it is, but we do have like the hitch at the back for a ball joint there. Pretty early on, we add that. We add a couple of these like vented tile pieces back here and red translucent ones up front, which you don't ever really see. And then we add 3 of these kind of curved pieces or inverted angled plate pieces there. And so it doesn't use a starter brick, it doesn't use a chassis or anything like that. You kind of do that in the build. This is, the kind of axle plates there, and then there's a little bit of snot technique or snot bricks, or studs on the side building here. So up front there's a brick in there behind the bumper that is a snot brick, but for most of the side there isn't. So we do add on the fenders pretty early. Those are pretty standard, they look about right. And then we have this kind of layer of blue that goes around here. This is a print, so that's a 1x4 brick that is printed. That is the same on the other side. Now there are stickers in this set, that's just not one of them, so I'll look at those now. We have the sticker right here, which seems to show that this is a police dog training vehicle. Same on the other side, and then up top here on the hood we have kind of a police logo there. So I think they do make pieces like this with a logo here. I know they do for fire, I don't know if they do for law enforcement, so that probably is something they could have printed, but that is what it is. We do have the nice kind of layer of the reflective yellow in there, which I quite like. With these kind of fenders, we use those kind of inverted slope bricks on either side except up at the front, which means you do get that little gap right there, which isn't great, but otherwise they do a pretty good job. There are no doors on this, so no working doors in here, although there is an interior that you have decent access to. Looking at the front, this whole thing, like I said, is a sub-assembly with a studs on the side thing there. I really like what was done for the hood. We have a couple like lights down here, some clips for this like grill or this bar piece here, and then we use one of these flat gear tooth pieces in there. And then I really like how the headlights were done. They're using kind of that tooth piece in a sort of like a translucent light blue there, plus it's backed with the darker blue, and then we have like the orange kind of behind it. We also have what looks to be kind of like an engine here that gets covered up, but that could imply that there's maintenance could be done on here. It's not super easy to get that out. It is studded down on all 4 studs, not on like a jumper like they sometimes do, so you can't get it out super easily, but it's nice to get access there. And I do like how these lights look up front. Then we kind of build out the back a little more. This is sort of a pickup, sort of a van, sort of a hybrid vehicle here. So there is a trailer. You can see we have or not a trailer. Well, there is a trailer, but that's not what I meant. There is kind of a back area here, truck bed maybe. I think this is supposed to be a flashlight. I'm not sure. That's clipped on there. There's another clip on the side, a couple lights up top on the roof area there. But then you can see this is clipped in, so this can open up and this can open up. So we have some room back there. There's a window pane or a window sill with no pane there, and then there's kind of that handlebar piece or that they use for seat backs. Now I believe the dog, the bigger one, can fit in there. I don't know if both of them can fit super easily. I don't know, they're not studded down right now, but there may be a way to get them, at least one of them kind of studded down, and I'm not sure about the other one, and I may have to take off the harness to get close to doing that. I don't think it's possible, but you can get them back there. You can close this up even if they're loose back there. That's not terrible to me personally. I do like a place for them to be. There's also some storytelling there, and that's also a place where you can maybe store some other stuff, so we do have that space there. And then looking in the vehicle, we have center steering. There's a good amount of space in here, but the way this is kind of all set up, because of this character's arms and everything, that they're not like on the minifigure's side, and they're kind of bent out, they're not going to be super helpful. They're not going to be able to drive while they're wearing this suit, one. And then two, it's going to be difficult to fit them in. It might be possible getting the arms a certain way to seat them behind the other person. I have to check here. I knocked off the visor, so if I get them back there and get this visor back on, might have it upside down, we can have them kind of back there, and we can have this character up front. So you can fit both figures in there. You can get a look at them, which isn't bad. I mean, I think that's good. I actually didn't anticipate, I didn't expect that the cactus arm figure would be able to fit, but we can get the roof back on, we can get everything on. We do have a little bit of windows here, no doors like I said, windscreen there. This is easy enough to pop off. It's just on 4 studs, and we can get some access to the inside there. So overall, this is pretty good. Not a ton of pieces in here, like that these are prints. Maybe could have used prints here and then just the stickers there, but there is only 3 stickers in the entire set. The sticker sheet is right here, and they're all on this vehicle, so that's not too bad. I think the size is appropriate, and it feels pretty nice, and I do like that it kind of looks like an SUV, looks like a van, looks like a kind of a crossover, but it also seems like maybe a modified sort of flatbed, or not flatbed truck, but like pickup truck kind of deal. I think that's pretty cool and makes sense, I feel. Of course, we do have the ball joint at the back, so we do have a trailer for this, so we can take a look at that. This was interesting. Not a ton of pieces here either. Colors are pretty much the same. You got some dark bluish gray, some light bluish gray, a little bit of that reflective kind of yellow in there, and then the blue throughout. This one too has a little thing at the back, I know, why am I forgetting the name of those things that you open at the back of a truck, but it has that. Not super high on the sides here, but that's okay, pretty basic. Couple brackets used, one of these nice 6x6 tiles used in there. On the bottom we have these kind of smaller wheels with these smaller axle pieces. There's a little bit of stuff in between here. Then we have this angled plate where we add on one of these like 2/3 bricks with the grooves, as well as the piece with the ball joint that can connect it there, kind of lock that all down. A couple clips on bricks there, and a jumper here. We do have a brush, which is another accessory, so that could be for the dogs as well. We can also put the shovel there, and we could also put one of those kind of over on the side of the truck as well. Like I said, this connects, so we can kind of get that going together. And this may look a little bit odd right now, but I actually think there's something really, really cool with this set, and that's onto the like training course and the terrain here. So we will take a look at this. Now, this is done on two of these kind of rounded plates here, and they're kind of green for the grass, but this essentially sets up like a obstacle course for training. We do have a tree here, which is kind of like the older style pine tree that I'm familiar with. We have a little bit of flour over here. Looks like someone dropped a chocolate ice cream or something over here. It also could be for, you know, what the shovel could be used for in terms of an accessory. And then we have these different stages. So over here we have kind of a teeter-totter type thing, and these are all like kind of color-coded, which I think is really cool. So this one's here, it kind of goes back and forth. There's a little Technic in there, and then these just 1x8 tiles. We have the kind of 1x2 cheese wedge there as well, just on some Technic. Over here we kind of have these pedestals, maybe for climbing or different stuff. So those have those orange tiles on the top, kind of a table there, just a round brick there, and then just on a jumper there, so you can kind of see that. And then the one back here I believe is supposed to be, I don't know what they call them. I think for horses, are they called gates? You know, it's like for jumping, maybe. I would say that this is probably for jumping, so it's red here. Now this one's kind of interesting because the bar element on there is not connected to anything. It's not clipped in. It kind of rests on these modified plates that have the bar there and have those kind of parts that stick out a little more, and it kind of rests in there. So I believe that's to give the thing, like they want to be able to clear this, but if they don't, they're not going to get hurt. It knocks the crossbar off, and so they can, you know, practice a little bit safer without worried about like getting hurt by the bar they're trying to jump over, and so they can just knock that off. I could be wrong about that. That's just my inclination based on what I'm presented and what I know about different things. Now, that's all well and good. I think those are three cool obstacles, but as I always appreciate, there's some kind of modularity to this. So this can pop off. Underneath we have a little bit of tan with the 2x4 with the two studs on top. Over here, same thing. Over here, same thing. And then actually this one with the food and the bone is on the same 2x6 as all of these. So they all go on the same 2x6, which means this can also be slotted in there as maybe a reward for the end of the obstacle course or something along those lines. And then that also means we can set these up, you know, different ways to kind of encourage different kinds of training, different kinds of play. Now, as you can see, this one doesn't like necessarily work here because of the tree, but there might be a way to kind of make that be its own sort of thing. If this was here, let me see, get this back here. Let's say this is like that. Perhaps the dog needs to be trained to climb up this, get over to here, and then instead of doing the up and the down, just work on going down the side. I mean, it's a pretty steep angle for this, but, you know, for play it makes sense. And I think that's all, you know, pretty cool. So I like that you can switch these around and make it your own a little bit, and we can fit the food on there as well. And then these kind of work with the trailer, or when I say kind of, I mean they do work with the trailer pretty well. So I found that having this kind of set up with those on the side and this in the middle, you can get all of these 2x6s to lay flat in there. Now I knocked off the red bar to jump over, and I don't have the food tucked anywhere. So I don't think a way to get, well, maybe there is, you know, with a little bit of Tetris, with a little bit of puzzling, we can probably get all of those to fit. And I don't know if it shows that anywhere on the box. It's close. I mean, they show a little bit. They show storing some of the stuff, but not all of it. So we can see the box here. They do have the bar to jump over. They do have the kind of pedestal obstacle, and they have the teeter-totter there. They don't have the food in there. We can see one of the dishes over here. I'm not sure where it is. It doesn't look like it's over there, but it doesn't really matter. It does show here, switching them all around and everything like that. I think it's awesome that we can fit both minifigures in here. Technically, you can fit both dogs in here, even if they're loose kind of in there. And then we have the terrain that's maybe just, always set up that doesn't need to travel. Of course, we have the extra hairpiece that can find a spot either in the back or in the inside here. There's a little bit of room. And now we have kind of everything in this set. And it makes sense that like this, well, the dog training is mobile, the police truck and unit is mobile, but given a environment, maybe some flat land or maybe not flat land, they can take these obstacles as well as the rewards and the treats, all their their shovel, their brush, their flashlight, whatever they need, their accessories, and they can have that on the go wherever. So maybe they want to have an impromptu training session. Maybe it's a particularly nice day and they want to engage with the community, so they go to a dog park and interact with people and show what the dogs that they're training can do, and let other people's dogs try to run them without the training and different stuff. And I think that could be really great for community building and a little more like fun here. So this doesn't have to be about training dogs to maybe chase down crooks or bad guys that the police are trying to chase down to potentially bite on. I would, for me, I would prefer it to not be that, actually. So I would really like the dogs to be used for other stuff in this, and I think that can work. I think that can make sense here personally, and I know that's like a personal thing for me. I think there are probably many people who do want to have different kind of play styles in their city, and it may make total sense and be really cool to get that minifigure for training, and it may also make sense for the dogs to go after people. That's just not my kind of thing when I'm playing, or what my imagination would lead me to. So that's all good for me, and I actually really like this. Like, it's great that there's probably more than one way you can fit all four of these modules in there. I love when they do kind of this own little system. I love that it's customizable. I love that there's storage for everything. There's clips, there's extra clips, there's storage for the minifigures, storage for the accessories, there's the little bit of access under the hood. This set does a ton of stuff right, in my opinion, even if I have my own like personal issues with some of what it represents as it pertains to real life, and as it pertains, or what it appears to pertain to in terms of Lego City stuff. So I might have those objections, but as a set, as a toy, this is really, really well done. Frankly, it's quite good. I'll show the extra pieces because you do get some, and you get quite a few. You do get an extra of the bowl, extra of the visor, Technic pin, the bone, the dog treat or dog food or pet food there, as well as a couple other 1x1s, the hilts, the dropped ice cream, or whatever else. So you get all of those. And yeah, this set is 197 pieces, and I paid $15 for it. So it retails for $30. Now, less than 200 pieces for $30, not great, but considering it, 2 minifigures, including one that's kind of special, or pretty special, I would think, and then the 2 dogs, they're small, but they're in there, and I think that does hold some value. I think, like, looking at it now, 30 probably still seems a little bit high for me, but this vehicle is really good, certainly more than like a $10 box or a $10 vehicle, just in terms of size and all the other stuff that encompasses it. And so If this is it's $10, $12, whatever, the trailer adds a little bit, as do the obstacles and accessories, the landscape, the minifigures, and the animals. I think it's probably feasible to get to roughly $30 value. Certainly I wasn't going to buy it for that price for a variety of reasons. One, I thought it was a little overpriced. Two, it's not my favorite set in terms of its content or what it represents. And it wasn't something I was like really interested in. I totally believe that there are people who really love this set and can get a lot of great play out of it, and it just adds a nice kind of variety to their law enforcement and their Lego City, which I would generally be in favor of. But 30 seems a little bit high. I think 25 would have been really great. I guess comparing this to like a recent city truck I looked at, which was like the Jungle Explorer one, or other like fire rescue trucks or different stuff, they have similar dimensions, some similar builds. This one might not be as bulky or as detailed as like the Jungle Adventure one. I think that set retailed for a bit higher, had an animal in it, a bigger animal, and they're not one-to-one. You can't necessarily compare them. But if that one's 35, this one's 30, we're not too far off. That one's kind of environment, landscape kind of stuff was more robust and whatever. But I think 30 still feels a little bit high for me. 25 would probably feel about right. There could be people who feel like this is a great deal at $30. That's just me. And I probably wouldn't have bought it at 25, but I bought it at 15, which is 50% off. And when I see personally Lego sets that are that much of a discount, I'm intrigued almost no matter what the subject matter is or the theme or anything. If there's Friends sets, which I don't do a ton of, but have looked at and have enjoyed several of, or just Disney things or other themes that I'm not familiar with, generally 50% off is like crossing the threshold into a definite buy for me, or like certainly worth considering. And so this hit that mark because I got it at such a deal, and I feel great about it. I mean, this feels like more than $15 worth of Lego to me. I had a lot of fun building it. I had a lot of fun talking about it, and it is a nice set with lots of components, lots of stuff to do, storylines, narrative right inside the box, as well as some customizability and everything else. So I think this checks a lot of the boxes in terms of like a great Lego set, in my opinion. And I think I got a great deal. I don't know if gets $20, am I gonna buy it? Maybe. But 15 got to the point where I was like, okay, that I can maybe set aside some of my objections, and I can just get into this set and look at it for what it is, a plastic toy. And in terms of everything else, I can probably find ways with a little imagination, with a little creativity, to make it okay and make it make sense. And I think I did that. So I got a great deal. I think this is a really quality set, probably a little overpriced in my opinion. And there's some things I have questions about, but overall, I think this gets a thumbs up. So I like this a lot more than I thought I would. And that's surprising to me. So great. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego City stuff, more emergency response stuff potentially, and then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. Subscriptions help me a lot, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. We're on the road to 2,000, so I appreciate all the help. And then if you wanted to support the channel in a different way by giving money to the channel, you could do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. And I have the Patreon, it's in the video description, and I have a link to buy me a coffee, quote unquote. So maybe consider checking those things out. Those things are a tremendous help as well. They're not needed, it's not necessary, but it does make a big difference, and it is greatly greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.